Okay, so what was the turning point where you realized that I want to bring, this model and what I learned from the 3 years out into the world, into, dating, what we know now as dating buddies.
Yes, yes. So now we're starting to talk about the fun parts, John.
Yeah.
So having navigated
Start
all
with the
the
difficult first
traps,
and finish with the easy. Yeah, I like it.
yes, because we've talked about the challenges and there are many
Yeah,
more, and
yeah.
but I have really managed through this learning and through building resilience to actually turn this minefield into a gold mine. So
Yes.
there's three wonderful things that I have experienced.
Mm.
So I met Chris, who became actually my dating buddy. I met a man,
Okay.
we clicked really nicely.
Yeah.
We worked out that we weren't romantically we didn't have chemistry, but we
Okay.
had sort of more mental chemistry. He is a psychology teacher, and we had similar interest in understanding the field and understanding ourselves. And so I made a really good friend in the dating field. And once I had met Chris, we exchanged perspective a lot. So he was saying, "Look, I'm currently engaging with this woman. What do you think?" And vice versa. We when we had a hard thinking experience, we kind of supported each other. And Chris, who is still my friend, he's also found someone quite recently. But that having a dating buddy, basically a
Yeah.
really good friend who looks out for you, we looked out for each other, that uplifted my energy a lot. So that was afterwards. I thought, this is what I want to create for people who are walking the field. Like I want to create a Chris for them, like as part of a
Nice. I like
group.
it. Okay, cool. Yeah,
Yes,
cool. Okay,
yes,
cool.
where we can go and saying, look, what do you think of this? This sounds a bit
Yeah.
crazy, or what do you think? Or even hilarious. I mean, there's some hilarious moments as well,
Hilarious stories.
to kind
Hilarious.
of exchange.
Yes.
Yes, yes. Have you got
Right.
some as well, John? Some hilarious.
Oh
Yes,
my God.
I'm sure we all
Because
have
if you
hilarious
feel so
stories.
alone, I
Yes,
feel that you alluded to that before, that
yes.
if you're feeling alone, then that's where you can make some bad choices, and choices that aren't really aligned with
Mm,
who you are, with your own authenticity. And we can actually then,
exactly.
lower our standards because it's, meeting an unmet need within ourselves. And then that can lead to disaster.
Exactly, exactly,
So
exactly.
dating
So
buddies
there's so
don't
many
see as,
vulnerabilities.
yeah.
Yes, yes. When I met Chris, I felt more secure, more uplifted. It was more fun. We were laughing together. I caught him a couple of times and cried, and he caught me a couple of times. He didn't cry, but he was confused and
Uh-huh. Yeah.
disorientated. And he said, "What is this?" So we tried to help each other to make sense of these experiences, which was so good. So that was one of the things why I want to bring dating buddies into the world. The second is that I really did learn. I feel very confident now, and resilient. If I ever had to walk the dating field again,
Mm-hmm.
I might not have to, but if I had to, I would do it with more confidence. So that's a big gift in itself, isn't it? To feel okay.
That
I know
is
the field.
everything. That's everything. How you're
Yes,
showing up is
yes,
everything. Because you're going
it's
to,
everything.
yeah, how you're showing up, that's going to be matched. It's going to be mirrored back to you. So if you're showing up with
Exactly.
confidence, with certainty, with belief, with clarity, this is what I want, this is what I deserve, and
Yes,
everything's aligned, how I think, how I feel, my values is all in alignment, then you're more
yes,
likely to
yes.
attract that as a partner. So
Yes, yes, you totally get it, John. Yes.
yeah.
If thought, feeling, and actions are aligned, then we are very strong in our energy, actually, aren't we? But that requires a lot of consciousness and self-awareness, which we need to build. And whilst I already considered myself to be fairly self-aware and conscious, but I was not in relation to online dating. I think it's not an insult that we have to,
Well, it's out of the comfort
up level.
zone, isn't it? Because we get used
We
to
out of
a
comfort
way of
zone.
being, a
Yes.
certain rhythm of life and showing up and routines, and you're inviting a new energy into your reality.
Yes.
I mean, yeah,
Yes,
you want to make sure you're safe, secure, you got support. Yeah, so I think dating buddies is awesome, and that people can get
it's
a lot.
awesome.
Yeah, it really is. And
Yes. And
I
the third point, I just
oh
want to
yeah,
say,
third point.
the
Okay,
third
third
thing
point.
is actually that I met Mark, my lovely boyfriend. So I met
Oh
my lovely
yes, of
boyfriend
course.
Mark. So that's the feeling actually, uh, uh, feeling there is someone who I can create a loving, fulfilling connection with.
Yeah.
That's a wonderful experience.
Well, that's
It's a
probably the
huge
most
reward.
important. That yeah,
That's the most important. Yes, it's the most
yeah.
important. Yeah,
Actually, what you went through yield a result.
exactly.
One that you're
Yes,
very happy
yes,
with, and that yeah, it's growing and
yes,
expanding. And obviously, there can be
yeah,
teething problems, but having someone that you can maturely work through those with, and show up and be honest,
exactly.
and sometimes have the difficult conversation. But if they're the right
Yes,
person, then
yes.
they'll grow with you. So
Exactly. That's exactly, John, how Mark and I approach things. And
yes.
that's very rewarding to meet someone that you feel you can go on a journey with to develop something really strong and resilient and thoughtful and loving. And yes. Actually, that I think my connection with Mark has totally inspired me
Yes.
to bring this to life, to bring this project to life. Yes. Actually an Australian man as well, like you,
Oh,
John.
really? Okay, great.
Uh, yeah,
Was he?
yeah, yeah. And
Okay.
he's a musician.
Oh, really? Okay.
And yes, yes. And he actually, and oh, share a little lovely story with you. So
Okay.
just to point to the possibility,
Yes.
so I have met him on a dating app called Hinge.
Okay.
Hinge.
Okay. I haven't
I
heard of
think
Hinge.
that's not,
No, I
have you
don't.
not? Right.
Okay.
It's a good one. And
Okay.
you can send a little rose to someone. You can send a little rose to someone to say hi. So I sent him a little rose and said, "Hi, Mark." And then our conversation started. And then we already, in the early interactions, it felt already very positive, very
Oh,
respectful, very
yeah.
enjoyable. There was a lovely energy to our early interactions.
Yeah.
And he was inspired to write a poem about that. As we were still on Hinge, we hadn't transitioned into the world of dating yet, but he wrote a poem which he called The Verse of Hope. And then later on, he actually made a song out of it. And it's a beautiful song that I've shared with some of my friends. And yeah, I'm just sharing it because so much is
It's a
possible. Yeah, and
success
that
story.
field,
Yeah.
which often, yeah,
In
yeah.
3 years. So you had a lot of perseverance, a lot of self-compassion for yourself, a lot of courage to keep going, and
Hmm.
you were rewarded with it. It is possible to find your soulmate, to might find someone that's
Mm.
compatible that you can develop a long-lasting relationship with. And we're just diving deep into really what was the turning point for you bringing this, app into the world. So we covered that, and really the icing on the cake of this was your relationship with Mark, and that it is, he's an
Hmm.
Australian musician, and that how you just progress slowly, and it's blossomed into a beautiful 8 months later, it's blossomed into this beautiful relationship. And so I wanted to ask you, Kirsten, was how will the resilience model be used within Dating Buddies program? And is it so important in today's dating landscape? Like, how is it applicable?
Okay, yes, that's a good question. I've been developing this group program, which I actually will call From Dating Buddies to Soulmates. And
Okay.
everyone who wants to establish a loving, meaningful relationship will be invited in that group. So it's about people who consider dating, who are currently actively dating, or who are beginning to establish a relationship like you and I, like we are 8 months in,
Yes.
or who are in a youngish relationship.
Yes.
That's the kind of potential client who may want to work with me, would be invited to work with me. And so the program is like a 5 month program.
Mhm.
It will be, we'll meet online
Yeah.
every two
Awesome.
weeks for 90
Okay.
minutes.
Okay.
So I already have a man interested from Kenya, someone from Canada. So
Okay,
it'll be
great.
an interesting mix of people. Um, and so we have 90 minutes course every week, every 2 weeks,
Yeah,
and there will be a I will the kind of a psychological or coaching framework to this program is the resilience model. So where really
mm,
the aim is to support everyone to strengthen their resilience, to look at mindset and all these different elements and ingredients that we shared earlier. And part of this program is it includes 2 individual coaching sessions with me
yeah,
before the program and towards the end. And with every participant, I will go through this model and we will look together, what are your strengths in terms of resilience in the dating world and what may be your sensitivities and vulnerabilities. And then the aim is to support the different ingredients and strengthen them for that particular person
mm,
in the program. And we'll all be in a WhatsApp group throughout the program. So we can continuously share experiences and reflect on as a group as well.
mhm,
And there will be a kind of a teaching element to it where I'll talk about the ingredients, but also there will be a lot of time for connecting socially and supporting each other and uh, working with our resilience as a group. And so
mhm,
that in itself will offer social connectivity, which is
mhm,
such an important
mhm,
part. Being part of a group, being
mhm.
part of a project, you're not so alone with it.
Yes.
And I am a very experienced group facilitator. Yeah, like I've trained also be to be running groups, and I work with teams and groups, and have worked for many years with therapy groups. So that's not going to be a therapy group, but I'm very well skilled to facilitate the flow in groups and the connectivity and the learning and the transformation and the expansion. And so yeah, so that's kind of the gist of dating buddies to soulmates.
Yeah, I love that. And the bonds and because in a program like that, it's a call, you're learning more about yourself and how you're showing
Yes,
up, and you're bringing the unconscious, the things you're unaware of, into your awareness so you can process them. And that's
totally,
and
totally.
that brings a lot of connection, like the kind of connection you have with Chris, you know what I mean, where you can cry if you
Yes,
need to, you can share the
yes,
confusion that you may be experiencing. And these are the things,
yes,
your regular friendships and things like that, while they may be great, for other areas, when you got a group of people going through and they got the same sort of challenges, it feeds
yes.
off each other. I have actually done a program similar to what you were talking about,
Oh,
and
really,
learned
John?
about
That's
attachment
amazing.
styles. It was 12 weeks. It
Yes,
was amazing, and the level of vulnerability, and it was difficult some calls just to sort of open up.
yes,
But it was very transformative just to learn
uh,
about different attachment styles, about how I
yes,
was showing
yes,
up, and maybe some certain things that I weren't fully conscious of, and the connections
yes.
you build with the other participants is awesome.
Yes, exactly, exactly. That you know exactly. Yeah, you've
Oh,
experienced
good,
something like
really
this.
good. I highly
Yes,
recommend it.
yes.
Yeah,
And everyone, let's say it'd be 5 months, but if someone wants to do it again, yeah, there's
yeah,
also a possibility to come back. So,
yeah.
so there is consistency. If someone feels, oh, I want to do it again, like there is always someone can be in the program for as long as they would like to, if it feels
Yeah,
right.
well, we had some of their one of the women, it was her third time, and another one was her
Ah,
second time going through. And so and
yes,
they found it
yes,
really valuable, and they actually opened up and shared a testimonial when we were starting, and when we did an introduction of ourselves, and they said that, yeah, they shared why they found it so valuable and why they came back a second, and the other one was a third time. So I feel that you'll
that's
definitely get people coming
fantastic.
back. Yes, because it is
Yes,
so
yes, yes,
valuable when people understand, when you learn about yourself, and
yes, yes.
yeah,
That's
it's
right.
really
That's right.
powerful. Yeah,
I think that attitude, which is like this journey is here for learning.
Yes.
That is so helpful.
Yes.
When we are open to learning, I think everything is already so meaningful in itself. Taking off the focus of someone who we want to find, who isn't there yet, and shifting the focus to learning. I love that. Yes, that's very important. Yeah, it's brilliant. It's fun as well, isn't it? It makes it
It is
interesting.
fun. It really is.
Yeah,
We met up in
yes.
different locations. So there was a meetup in Greece, and there was another meetup in Egypt, and yeah, it was really cool.
Honestly, that's
Yeah, yeah,
amazing.
it was great. It
Yes,
was really cool.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I feel it helped me to find my current partner. So
That's
um,
wonderful.